Breeze Nation was good. You already know what it is, man. It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. We appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another show. We got some Bears talk on the docket today, man, because listen, I want to know, that based on how this team is going, based on how this team has been moving forward, should they have been active at the trade deadline? As always, man, like the video, subscribe to the page because we do talk Chicago sports weekly. It's the only channel that's talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talk. So get in tune with us. Stop playing with your boy. You know, we doing big things over here at the Windy City Breeze, man. We appreciate y'all for rocking with us. Listen, man, we really want to get into this topic today, man. Really want to break down kind of what we've been seeing at Hallis Hall. And honestly, man, should the Bears have been more active? We also want to hear from you guys, man. The phone lines are open. Make sure to call into the show, man. 855-908-5668. That is the Contender phone lines, the Contender, where you're hearing sports talk nonstop while you're on the clock. You're gonna hear Chicago sports talk on those days when somebody might keep going at 12 o'clock, and it just might not be your cup of tea to hear about the New York Jets in the middle of the day, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, but you can tune in here with the Contender, man, and hear nonstop sports talk. Let's get into it, man. We got Mike Nice in here early, man. We appreciate y'all for rocking with us. Let's break this down, man. Let's break this down. Because I'm really looking at this kind of in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking at this kind of like, where is this team going with the current pieces it has? And is it worth it to keep these pieces? Where's this team going with the pieces they have? And is it worth it to keep these pieces, especially pieces that you might end up losing anyway? When I look at this Bears team, yeah, we saw some things last week that we really liked, right? Justin Fields moving it. Yeah, hey, listen, I don't believe in coincidences when it comes to stuff like this. It's not a coincidence that Justin Fields plays above average the 1 week that Matt Nagy is not there, and all of a sudden Bill Lazor can do what he wants to do, and those guys can all do what they want to do over on the offensive end of the ball, and everybody's doing their own thing, and all of a sudden the quarterback plays well, right? What is the direction of this season? Because apparently at Hallis Hall, this team still thinks that it's a playoff team. We didn't see Allen Robinson get shipped off. I thought Allen Robinson was going to be a piece that absolutely would get sent out. More so for the reason of you're going to lose him for nothing. They might get a compensatory, right? They might get a compensatory. But for the most part, you're going to lose him for nothing. You're looking at this team and you're trying to see if there's a direction here. Is A-Rob coming back? Probably not. I don't think any of us in here believe that A-Rob's going to be back here for the Chicago Bears. I don't think that any of us here believe that A-Rob is going to be back in a Bears jersey next season. And so I'm of the mindset, if you're going to lose him, why not gain something more? Especially, and here's the caveat to it, right? Because I don't believe A-Rob's lost a step. I don't believe that Allen Robinson is not still just under elite wide receiver. I don't believe that Allen Robinson has lost his game. All of a sudden, he can't play wide receiver anymore. What I do believe is that Justin Fields doesn't see him as his number one wide receiver. That's what I do believe. Justin Fields doesn't believe that he's going to be his number one wide receiver right now. That's Darnell Mooney, who's getting 9 targets a game. It's probably going to be Jesper Horsted who's getting those targets. So why are we holding on to players that we don't believe are going to return at the end of this season, and you're going to lose them for nothing? I don't understand the mentality here. Mike Nice brings out a good point. Says Mooney is getting separation, though. He is. But if you threw the ball to Allen Robinson's way about 9-10 times, he'd come down with 7 to 8 of those. Let's not forget what A-Rob was and is to me. It's a difference between all of a sudden you're bad, like you actually cannot play the game, and the team isn't looking your way. Right now, Justin Fields isn't looking his way. This to me, see this matters early, right? This right here, good comment here from Quincy Jones. Great name, by the way. Are you the actual Quincy Jones? Let me see what happened to Mike. Anyway, Justin didn't have any snaps with A-Rob in the offseason, so there is no connection. That may be true. That may have some play in it, but he's had snaps with A-Rob since he's been in the game. Even if he did, listen, Andy Dalton didn't really have it. Andy Dalton didn't have any snaps with A-Rob. You know why? Because A-Rob didn't play preseason. Nobody has snaps with A-Rob. But even with all of that, I still think, listen, I still think Allen Robinson's a good wide receiver. I think he's a really good wide receiver. But Justin Fields doesn't see him as his number one option. Justin Fields more than likely is making the business decision in this situation where he's saying, listen, you're not going to be here next year. I better figure out how the guy that's going to be here next year wearing this jersey is going to want the ball put in his hand. And it comes down to, like, I'm fine with not using A-Rob. You know, I would like Justin to use him. I think that A-Rob's a good asset for a rookie QB to use. You know, he's going to be there for those 50-50 balls, big body. You kind of saw Darnell Mooney in that situation where he goes up for the 50-50 ball, can't come down with it. Just because he doesn't have as big a catch radius as A-Rob does, but you have to look at what your quarterback is making the decision of, because now it's not about what Ryan Pace says or what Matt Nagy says. It's about who Justin Fields is putting the ball in the hands of. Don Burr in the chat was good. It's about who Justin Fields is putting the ball in the hands of. And right now, he's not looking to Allen Robinson. He's looking to the guy that's going to be here next year. And so I ask y'all the question and would love to hear y'all opinion on the show, live on the air, man. Call into the show. Contender phone lines are open, 855-908-5668. 855-908-5668. Is it bad? Is it a bad look that the Bears were not active at the trade deadline? Should they have been active at the trade deadline? I love how P Kid comes in just in time to answer the question. The pettiest man alive. What's going on, dog? What are your thoughts on it?
No, I don't think it was bad for us. I think realistically, it kind of depends on what was available, who was making who available. I would rather us stand back and wait till the offseason than make a move now for a season that we can't salvage. We can't
You're
salvage this
not
season.
going to have them, though. That's the point I'm making. You know, you're losing them. You're losing them for nothing. Like, yes, you might get a little bit more out of them this season. Maybe you do make a playoff run and Allen Robinson becomes big. And Allen Robinson is not the only player we're talking about here, but a lot of these guys, you're losing them for nothing. You might get a 6th-round compensatory pick in 2033 or 2023. So, I mean, even if you're getting a 5th, even if you're getting a 4th, yes, is it underselling what A-Rob is? Absolutely, 110%. But it's better than what you're going to get when he walks away from you at the end of the year.
I mean, at the end of the day, we franchise tagged him because it was a rental anyway. Like, we walked into the season knowing that this was going to be potentially his last season.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I don't think we lose anything. And at the same time, you know, is him being on the field does give us an extra threat if we do get our offense rolling.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things where trading a potentially game changing receiver is kind of like not in your best interest. I mean, I'm not saying that he is OBJ, but you look at what OBJ is going through in Cleveland. Very similar story. You know that he's a game changer. He's definitively a game changer, but he's not getting the looks.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
when he is getting looks, bad passes and stuff
Bad
like that, you saw the fuss his father just put up while reposting that video. So it's like it's one of those things where it's good to have him. He's a nice threat. People respect him, but at the end of the day, we knew what it was.
But
So
it's about to me, it's about listening to what your quarterback's telling you through his play. You know what I'm saying? Like Baker Mayfield, as much as we can complain about how bad Baker has put the passes on OBJ, he is looking OBJ's way. They're just bad passes. They're awful passes. I mean, they're sailing OBJ. But he's looking his way. OBJ's still coming away every week with 6, 7 targets. You know what I'm saying? A-Rob left the last 3 weeks or so. I think his highest was last week with 4 targets.
4, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like your quarterback is telling you that, listen, I believe, listen, I love this. In my opinion, I think I love this from Justin. He's saying, I'm going to pick the dude that's going to be here playing ball with me for the time that I'm going to be here. I'm going to throw to him consistently because while A-Rob might be that number one dude, he leaving.
I also think it's about it's an age thing, and I hate to say it that way, but Justin is closer in age to Mooney. I
Darnell
mean,
Mooney.
they're not that far apart, but I mean, you got to look at their situations. Darnell is relatively young on this team. A-Rob's been here for a minute,
Yeah.
comparatively. So it's like you gravitate towards those who are in similar situations as you, generally speaking. And so I think that's what happened. They just kind of connect differently in a way that A-Rob's not looking to be with a rookie QB trying to get it together. He's trying to move on to a contender.
Which I'm fine with, but to me, it hurts your team when you see Ryan Pace is willing to go out and trade a 6th-round pick for Jakeem Grant, who's literally just returning kicks. They don't want to put him out there at receiver. He's just returning kicks. Ryan, as much as I rag on you, those are the picks that you're really, really good at. Those are your Khalil Herberts. Those are the ones that I love to see week in and week out. I would have loved to see you go get some of that draft compensation back for yes, you're gonna be underselling. But is a undersell worse than not having anything at all? Because you will get a 6 back. But in trade, you're talking about, and like I said, not even the only player we're talking about. I mean, Akeem Hicks's name should be on that list as well. Possibly a Danny Trevathan's name should be on that list as well. A couple of guys, maybe you sell high on an Alec Ogletree because he's not going to be here. Maybe you send him to a contender, see if you can get something on that. Like, I'm not saying destroy everything that you have here, but the guys who you feel are, like, I guess Akeem Hicks you're using more. But the miles on that body, like you're gambling on it at this point.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, realistically, like, here's the thing. Making a move now would probably require us to spend some capital or do some things that we wouldn't be able to do in the offseason. And we got a pretty decent offseason coming up.
Yeah.
To shore up a lot of things. And so I'm looking at the list. It's a very extensive list. I didn't realize how long this list was. But like, if we really wanted to shore up some things and we're gonna have the capital, I say that because we're gonna have 2 contracts coming off. We go A-Rob 17 million. The 17 million collectively between our third and second string QBs are coming off next year. We're gonna have a lot of room to sign someone that can make a difference.
Yeah.
Or sign multiple people that can make a difference.
Yeah.
So, I mean, unless I'm just looking at this wrong, it's no need to make a push now when we're going to have the capital over the summer. We're going to have the ability to make some major moves and spend some money, which we know Ryan Pace is not afraid to cut some checks to some people. So hopefully this time he just cuts it to the right people because we have a lot of people who can share up our secondary. We got a lot of free agents in that route.
Yeah.
We got some. Let's see. Let's go by position.
It's also, but here's the thing, listen, I look at that kind of like a bull situation with where the Bears are now. You know what I'm saying? Like we've got a lot of those people that are out there that, yeah, they might be prime for the picking, but do you have an organization that's in a position to go get them? Do you have an organization that people want to come to? Listen, we had an opportunity for LeBron. We had an opportunity for D Wade, and they were talking about coming here, and then all of a sudden they weren't. You know what I'm saying? Like we had an opportunity for Kobe, and then all of a sudden LA is a lot better in the wintertime.
Oh, listening to that story, man. Kobe was here.
He was here. He was
Kobe was here, and Jerry West. No, it wasn't Jerry West. Somebody called him and talked him out of it. but the deal was practically done. That had to be a heartbreaker.
It's
Oh,
just
that had to be a heartbreaker for them.
It's just, to me, shout out to Tanner in the chat, man. Make sure to check out what's going on over on Tanner channel. He's killing it in the tech game, though. It's just to me, it's always interesting when you look at, like, I always wonder, like, do teams think that they're going to, at the end of a season, convince somebody who's already pretty much talking about, like, all right, well, they didn't pay me. I didn't want to be franchise tagged. Yes, I'm here. But you franchise tagged me anyway. Told you I didn't want to be deal with you on that. I wanted to work out a deal with you to be here forever. Finish my career here. You didn't want to work out that deal. Like, and a lot of the money things they can make work, but it's one of those, like, if you've already started burning the bridge, is it worth it to then throw the rope over and be like, jump? Because at that point now, you think about A-Rob at the end of the year, yeah, maybe he does build a rapport all of a sudden with Justin. Maybe he does build a rapport all of a sudden with, they start to get the offense going through him a little bit more. They start to like what they see through him a little bit more. But to me, it's like, is it worth it if your quarterback's kind of letting you know, I'm going the other way? And with the opportunities I'm getting, with the time I have, with the routes that are being run, and with the line that's standing in front of me, the speed guy is going to be our better option no matter who's here.
I don't think the draft capital we would have gotten back from Allen Robinson would have been worth it.
It's not. I agree. I agree with you. It's not. You're probably when you know a player's going to walk away, you're probably getting offered a 4th or a 5th. It's not worth it. But if he walks away for nothing, you're getting a 6th. It's one of those things to me where I look at it and I'm like, yes, I don't believe that it's worth it. I don't believe that the trade you would have made would have been an even trade. But this is one of those moments where even Bill Belichick has done this, where he's like, yeah, it's not worth it, but it's more worth it to me. I can turn the lower pick into something that maybe does become better than Allen Robinson. But right now, I'm not going to turn Allen Robinson into something with this team. And I feel that same way about, I feel the same way about Akeem Hicks with this team right now. Not to say these guys are bad players, but right now this defense is going the other way. You got to talk about the defense as well. This defense is going the other direction. It's aging. Akeem, when have we seen Akeem Hicks and Eddie Goldman on the field and watched them get gashed on the run like that ever? You know, it's one of those to me where I look at it and I'm like, okay, well, they're getting dominated down there. All right, maybe it's time to let go of Akeem. We as Chicago and kids, you know this, we love to hold on to our shining pieces that fight for our team.
Way too long.
Way too long. We love to hold on to Akeem Hicks. You know why? Because when they cut to him in the middle of the game after he sacks the quarterback, he's got the tongue going. He's got the eyes looking crazy at you. Bear logo on the chest. He's ready to go at you on the next play. But in the last game, what we've seen from him is on the next play is a run up the gut, and he's blown past.
Yeah, celebrate that one. The crazy thing is, though, I will tell you this. Not a lot of teams made some moves this offseason.
Yeah.
Which was interesting to me. You know, we had the big names out there, Miami and you know what I'm talking about, Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
We had that fell through, which is weird because now you have a young QB who you basically just told, hey, don't like you, kid, and now he's there. You got to.
I don't know if they just told him that.
Oh, well, it's been very.
I feel like he got drafted and they was like, "Hey, kid, we really don't want you," but somebody up there did.
Hey, basically, the coach is doing the best he can right there, but that's a dumpster fire over there as well. It's one of those things where this is the most interesting and actually underwhelming trade deadlines I've seen in a while from the NFL. But
it's been about 3 or 4 years. I'd say about 3 years. We've had like, oh, we got NFL Sounder. Oh, we got big trade news. We got big news. We got big switch. It's like, yo, D-Hop's going somewhere. No, it's like, what is happening? This is the NFL, not the NBA trade deadline. We know. We're live for the NBA trade deadline
because everybody's getting traded.
Everybody's getting traded. What superstars disgruntled with how his team starting off? Bradley Beal, put you over here. Russell Westbrook, you only been there 30 games. We're gonna send you over there. You know what I'm saying? Like in all honesty, what is he eligible for trade? I was gonna say this trade deadline, we might see Kyrie Irving get moved, but I don't know if he's eligible because he took a mental leave, right? Or was
I don't
he?
know.
He was just asked to stay home, so he's eligible for trade.
It's a lot of things that's actually going to work out in his favor with that
Yeah.
whole situation. People don't realize that while it's true that he didn't get vaccinated, there's actually a lot of high level politicians that didn't get vaccinated in New York that still do business every day.
Hey,
And
he's
so, like,
no Aaron Rodgers.
right? So, like, his situation is weird, but I mean, I think ultimately he ends up getting moved. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if he did get moved to Philly, to be honest with you. I really wouldn't be surprised. They kind of need to move him as well, just because of the whole relationship that's just not working out. So, Tanner, thank you for the super chat, my boy.
Appreciate the love, my boy. Appreciate the love. Says facts on the whole discussion, bro. It's just interesting to me. Like you don't want to let Allen Robinson go for anything. You don't want to let Akeem Hicks go. I mean, well, maybe Akeem Hicks. But
I'm
you
not
don't
letting
want to
Hicks go.
there's a lot of those guys that you don't want to let go because there's still talent there. Like Akeem Hicks when he's on the field for the most part. I mean, first game back last week didn't look good. First game back off an injury, but he looked like it looked like he was kind of getting back into it, but then a little bit over the line. Maybe you want to sell high on him. You send him to a playoff team. He starts to feel it again. He starts feeling, you know what I'm saying? Like those are the things you got to think about. And to me, it's just always like, are you willing to just give up on trying to find good talent? Are you willing to give up on trying to find the better piece than the piece you have? Because to me, if you start, now I'm all for loyalty on a team, but if you start being overly loyal, like we're going to let this guy end his career here, now you get to the point where, listen, when Mac is over the hill and he might still have something as a third down player, but you're going to be paying him a lot of money to be a third down
Yeah.
player. Listen, on a championship squad, that looks great.
My question to you is, what teams would have even been in a position to acquire that contract this season? I mean, you got to think about
Well,
a
I'll
lot
tell
of
you what.
teams. A lot of teams are over or are pretty much at max, and there's a lot of injuries that have plagued the league. So people have shored up some spots there. You think of the Texans, they have to go sign AP. I mean the Titans. I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You look at all these crazy injuries there. The Raiders now losing Ruggs in a very horrific way.
Yeah. That was the one I was going to say.
That's
You
now
lose
they
a
got
wide
to go. They
receiver.
cut him. Now they got to go sign somebody from him though.
That's what I was gonna say. That's probably. I mean, that news came out in the morning of before the trade deadline. Correct? That was out. That was out yesterday early. That to me,
Yeah.
that's the first person. And to me, it's a question of, because I've seen it in the past. To me, it's a question of, is Ryan Pace picking up the phone to make these calls? That's the. And I
The
hate
one
that.
thing I don't think he's afraid to do is pick up the phone.
But you know what? It's the moments of. I could absolutely see him being like, "Oh yeah, Allen Robinson's our guy. We're not getting rid of him. Allen Robinson's the dude that we're gonna roll with. We're not getting rid of him." That I could absolutely see. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to me, that's when you have to ask the question of, okay, yes, he's your guy. Yes, he's the one that you're rolling with, but is it worth it to keep rolling with him when your quarterback's decided not to go with him? Is it worth it to keep rolling with Akeem Hicks when, listen, this defensive line is getting to the point where it's a little bit over the hill? Yeah, it looks good in a couple of games, but when you play against that top tier competition, it's gonna be a tough one to deal with. When you get to the point where, you know, Danny Trevathan has been somebody who's kind of fallen out of favor here. Alec Ogletree's shown some flashes. Those are pieces that at this point, this defense, you're gonna be rebuilding.
Yeah.
And so to me, start finding those draft picks to rebuild it. Start finding, and you're not gonna get nothing but fourth and fifths. But what do we say on here? He's a god with fourth and fifths. that's his bread and butter. You know what I'm saying? Like the fourth and fifth round picks, this dude comes in here and he dominates it. He's Jordan in the fourth and fifth round.
That's a fact.
He's a little bit, you know what I'm saying? He's a little bit Sam Bowie in the first round, but the Jordan in the fourth and fifth.
I mean, listen, this to do that. First of all, let's get this straight. The NFC North sucks outside of one person,
Yeah.
one team, right? So everyone's 3-4, 3-5. Lions are 0-8. Thank you for that. I've
Yeah.
never seen that. That's ooh.
I have
Uh,
from the Lions.
well, there you go. Uh, um, so realistically, Packers gonna take an L because they ain't got Rodgers. The Bears could be 4-5. Vikings, I expect to still be on the skid. It's very possible that the Bears can claw themselves back into a playoff spot.
Yeah.
It is very possible. And
And,
guess what? We
and
had the
listen,
same conversation last year.
A-Rod is out for the next couple of games.
We had the same conversation last year. We
Yeah.
can absolutely beat the Steelers. We can potentially beat the Ravens. Why? I don't know what it is about Lamar Jackson, but him and fumbling are just married. The dude, God, dude just gives it up all the time. I don't know what the heck is going on over there. Like
There's
it's
so many
very
jokes there. I'm
possible
glad
this
we've
turns
avoided all
around.
There's so many jokes there. I'm glad we've avoided all of them.
Man, listen, we're being adults today. And I got the Manscaped sponsor shirt on today too.
Oh yeah, we gotta keep it semi-clean.
Is this a sponsor vid? Is this a sponsor vid?
Next vid be sponsor vid, you know what I'm saying?
Next vid will be sponsor vid. Okay.
They all technically sponsor vids till we get enough of them. You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? Let's go out to. Oh no, never mind. I saw a phone call on there. I guess it got terminated. Alrighty then.
How do we see Tariq Cohen factoring in when/if he gets back? I see Tariq Cohen getting dealt.
There's no he can't get dealt now. There's no trade deadline.
Okay. Well, I see him. He's not a free agent at the end of the season.
No, he's under contract.
I see him getting dealt at the end of the season.
I don't.
He out of there.
I don't. Ryan loves his guys. Tariq's his guy. Ryan loves his guys. Eddie Jackson, one of the highest paid safeties in the NFL. Tariq Cohen, paid after 2 years where he was up and down, both of them. Nice slot guy. Nice little, you wanted that Tyreek Hill type guy. Nice, looked like it.
You know what? I stick with him. If because you know what? Everyone said Patterson had no value. He's killing it right now. Right?
I don't
killing it.
Patterson
gives me 20 points every week.
You know what's wild about that? Like, to me, I feel like that's a situation of when the opportunity presents itself, you take it. And he has just, like, it finally clicked because, I mean, he was drafted high. He was drafted to be a wide receiver, not a kick returner. He was drafted high by the Vikings, didn't work out there. Went to, I believe, Buffalo, didn't work out there. Went to Chicago, didn't work out there. Now, you want to know what the difference with all of those are? None of them had quarterbacks.
None of them had quarterbacks. None of them had good coaches. None of them had good coaches.
When he was with, I'm trying to remember when Minnesota drafted him. I believe the coach that was there now is the one that drafted him. Coaches into NFC I believe. I don't remember. I want to say he's 2015 or 16.
And I hate the fact that no moves at the trade deadline turns into a Nagy thing. But you got to be honest. The game is managed completely different when he's not remotely involved.
Yeah.
Like it took COVID and us realizing that he couldn't be within the vicinity of the team for us to be able to say, "Dag, this team looks pretty good without him there." Right? He had to catch COVID. And by the way, not wishing ill on anybody. I hope he got better. I hope he's doing well. Yeah. Not trying to do that. But the caveat of all that is he was removed from the team. And it flowed so much better. We lost. Don't get me wrong. We still got our butts whooped, but it looked so much of a better whooping. Like we failed with style. Like
we didn't even say that it was a game where this was a great game, man. He dominated. We was just like, hey, we look like a football team.
We look like a football team.
We look like we play football every Sunday here instead of just like the practice squad.
So at this point, I'm like, hey, I'm glad we didn't make any trade moves because I don't want anybody else to come within the vicinity of this team with that cancer still there.
But see, to me, that's Chicago. That's what we've dealt with here.
So Chicago's the cancer.
No. I'm saying that's what we've dealt with here with the Bears, right? There's always that glimmer. Matt Nagy sneaks into the playoffs. Hey, he made the playoffs though. Bring him back. Ryan Pace he hits on a 5th rounder that's a big player. Hey, he's still killing it.
Dog, Ryan Pace hit on a lot of his picks.
Hey, listen.
They just needed some time, but he hit on a lot of his picks. You ain't got not one. You can't give me one season outside of 2018 where Matt Nagy actually showed he was worth his salt.
Hey, look, no, I'm here for you, but to me, Ryan Pace, how he's managed the cat, there's a lot of other things with Pace that I have a problem with besides just his picks. But however, Ryan Pace, there's always that glimmer of hope that it's just like, no, Pace did a good job. That keeps people talking that. There was always that one game that Mitch would give us where it's like, no, Mitch can be a franchise quarterback. Now, last week, Matt Nagy has COVID, and all of a sudden the team looks good. The week before the trade deadline, and all of a sudden it's, hey, yo, no, hold up.
Dog,
These boys can play. These boys can play. Let's get Matt back in here. These like there's always that little bit of something that just keeps everything the status quo.
I wanted Trubisky to go to Washington so bad.
I know you did.
Because I'm telling you right now, that kid is a lot better than we were able to see. Hey, that kid was a lot better than we were able to see.
We still got that thou on it.
I promise you this right now. That kid's gonna get to a team
if he ever has a good season.
If he ever, we got $1,000. He has a good season. I want you to pay me my money in pennies.
I said that's what I'm gonna pay it to you.
I want you to pay it to me in pennies, but I want you to count every penny. That's what I want you. I want you to count every single penny in front of me, because guess what? That kid's gonna do it. I promise you. He gets the opportunity, he's gonna do it.
You know what? He might. I might regret that, but you know what? At the end of the day,
it's on tape several times too. That you said that.
Listen, I'm a hold to you that. But there's never been that. Like, there's always that little bit that keeps us wanting more. That keeps us like, maybe this is it. Maybe this is finally the time. Maybe this is finally. Sometimes we can make a mistake and get it right, and it never happens. And so I'm always looking at it like, if Matt does coach next week, maybe we do finally start to see the sale happen. Not too late. Listen, I always say take the Bill Belichick approach. You get rid of a guy, he's got some life left on his legs. He might have a lot of season left in him, but you know what? If you get rid of him before it's too late, you're not in a hole.
Well, guess what?
Look at the Blackhawks right now.
He tried that with Brady, didn't work. Should have did it with Brady.
Hey, look, it worked. Brady got another one. Bill still got 6 with him. And guess what?
Mac Jones looked freaking good.
Hey, look. Bill had a down season, and guess what? He's got Mac Jones ramping it right back up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He had a down year. He had a bad year. Brady goes out, wins a ring. Gave up on it too early. But you know what? I get to start the next level.
Second in the division too.
Dog, that'll be dirty, wouldn't it? This one right here. This one right here be dirty, dog. Trubisky to the Packers, and he dominates, dog. Oh, we'll be sick. Oh, Chicago will be sick.
I'm not. That kid with a good O-line is gonna be good.
Hey,
I got to see Trevor Siemian pull out and that kid on the Jets, Mike White.
Hey, listen, but I've been a part of that. We've had that here. Caleb Haney. What backup you want me to name? Joshy Football, Josh McCown. Which one you want me to name? You want me to go down the hole at Kyle Orton? We've had that here. Where the backup comes in and you're like, oh, that's it. That's the guy. He can play. He could franchise the team, and then all of a sudden the next week, you know what you're gonna see this week? You're gonna see teams scheming specifically for Trevor Siemian, or you're gonna see teams scheming specifically for Mike White, and it's gonna get ugly.
I want to know how much of that decline you see is how much the coach is like trying to put too much on them too soon. Because when you have a backup, I've been told and I've researched that there's such little expectation that you just say don't make any mistakes, right? And then they ball out. But then you start to like actually try to infuse scheme into it. It's like, I think more people should get to the point where it's like, just let them play. Like, these people been playing football their whole lives.
Yeah.
They know how to play football. And when you play free, it tends to work out. I mean,
But it's like what Brett said. You know what I'm saying? There's guys that, yeah, they can have those games, but can you consistently hit the keyhole?
Brett
Can you?
Favre couldn't consistently hit the
Hey,
keyhole. I
look.
don't know why he
Hey,
even
listen.
talking.
Hey, listen.
Brett
Look,
Favre is the turnover king by
he
a
couldn't.
mile.
He couldn't.
3 of them, to be exact.
Hey, look. He definitely couldn't. But he was gonna put up 50 on you on the way to that. He was gonna consistently put up 50 on you
7-step
on the way
drop,
to there.
aim at the sky, launch it as hard as you can, hope it lands into a receiver's hands. That's Brett Favre. Like, I love Brett Favre just because he was not afraid to throw it. But come on. Brett Favre was worse than Phillip Rivers. And Phillip Rivers, I absolutely would throw you out of a game. Like when he got it rolling. And not cussing his trash talk either.
Hey, listen, and still a Hall of Famer. Both of them.
Yeah,
both of them still gonna be Hall of Fame. You know what? Listen, I'll take a turnover king Hall of Famer if I can get a Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying? I just want a Hall of Famer at quarterback. I have never had one. Sid Luckman might be one. I don't even know, but I always hear his name, so I'm assuming he might be in there.
Is he a Hall of Fame?
Hey, listen, he was the first quarterback ever, so I'm assuming he might be in there off of that.
Oh well, I mean, he was the first one ever. Why wouldn't he be?
I mean, dog, the Bears invented the position, but to me that's what.
Oh yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame.
Is he? Sid Luckman Hall of Fame? All right, cool. We got one.
Hall of Fame, three-time Pro Bowl, 5-time All-Pro, 4-time champion.
Yeah, dominant.
You know what's wild is that the Bears still have the record for most chips.
Most championships?
Yep.
You sure about that?
Yep.
Oh, is it saying championships though? Championships and Super Bowls are different.
Championships
and Super Bowls are different. They might have the most championships. Super Bowls don't get counted under championships. Because it used to actually be called like the football championship, and then they changed it to the Super Bowl, which became its own thing.
Dog, Sid Luckman's so old, he don't even got a color photo.
Dog, yeah. Hey, yeah. It's been a while.
What?
It's been a while.
What?
You know what I'm saying? And that's
what are we talking about?
That's why when I look at what we're doing now, I'm just like, I just feel like it's a mismanagement to not be active at the like honestly, be real. Let's have this conversation and call into the show. We want to hear from y'all as well. 855-908-5668. Is this team gonna turn it around? Because Matt Nagy's back. Is this team gonna turn it around and become a playoff team that is going to do something in the playoffs?
He can't be back so soon. He gotta give me 14 days.
Nah, he vaxxed. 7.
He's vaxxed. I thought you said he's back. Okay.
No, he's vaxxed. He's vaxxed. 7 days.
Oh no, he got to give me 3 more clear tests, and they got to be 2 to 3 days. He got to give me 3 more tests, and they got to be 2 to 3 days apart too. That gives me to Sunday.
Yeah, but like, is this team gonna like with these pieces? Like, yes, with A-Rob here, with Akeem Hicks, with all of those, if they make the playoffs, it's a nice team to have. It's nice to have those pieces there because you can win some games in the playoffs. And I do think making the playoffs with Justin Fields as the starter is something that is important. But are they going to make the playoffs with this team?
No.
So what's the point of keeping pieces that aren't going to be here after this season is done? That's where you can
honestly development.
Does Justin's development stop if he's not throwing to a guy that he was only throwing to 4 times?
Justin's development stops if he has no targets. Yep. Just because he hasn't gone the moon to A-Rob don't mean he won't. Doesn't mean he shouldn't. If you give away the defense, now you got your rookie QB getting demoralized mentally. Just development. Like nothing. You weren't going to trade them for anything. You weren't getting anything back. So you could say you're getting more of what? You got enough pieces to develop.
No, you're getting more than what you're gonna get. You're losing them for nothing. You're literally not going to get anything.
Wait. We have to stop this narrative that we're not going to get anything. We get cap space. Like we're getting cap space for a lot of these players.
If you
to make other moves, like so you get money back to potentially make other moves for other players. That's valuable.
Kid, if I trade you for, or if you leave and all I get is cap space, or I trade you for a 5th round pick, guess what still comes with that? Cap space.
You don't get all that cap space.
You get both.
You don't get the full cap space.
Why wouldn't I get the full cap space? I have to finish. I have to finish paying you for this season.
You have to finish paying them for that season. That's true. And in a lot
But
of ways,
we're
these
gonna
deals are
finish paying
structured.
them.
Like whose deal was just structured that way?
That's
The
if
team had to
that's
give up cash considerations for him. I just looked it up.
yeah, that does come
Picks,
into
and
play.
they gave him picks, but we gave him a player in cash. They gave us picks, or they gave this other team picks. Hold on
Yeah.
one second.
No, that does come into play. But when I'm giving you a who's proven in the past to be an above, I don't know what we call it, just below elite wide receiver, you don't get cash considerations. You get the better end of this deal. Give me some picks. Cash consideration comes in when you're trying to make a deal even.
That's a good point right there.
Shout out to Bear Forever. They kept everyone because Pace and Nagy are desperate to win now. That's literally the reason we made no moves. I agree. I agree.
Wait, let me ask you this. What now?
Listen, with the Bears,
what now?
You have to hear it. With the Bears and the McCaskies, making the playoffs is enough. 8-8 is enough if you make the playoffs. How long have we seen it? 7-10, you made the playoffs though. Guess what? We're not going to get rid of a coach that won. He might have only won 7 games, but I appreciate the fight to get in the playoffs. They don't know football. They not the football side of the family. They the money side of the family. The football side of the family died with the Super Bowl.
Yeah, because those playoff tickets bring in a lot of revenue.
They bring in a lot of revenue.
The sponsors.
This is the money side of the family.
It brings in money.
When you are losing money every season because you're 3 what would it be now? 3-14. It was 3-13 back in the day. 3-14. When people aren't coming to your regular season games, when people aren't coming to, you're not making a postseason, they can't come there. That's when they upset. You didn't
How
see
does Detroit keep making money?
Squatters.
Like the entire city is just having a bad. Detroit Pistons suck. Detroit Lions suck. They baseball teams. I didn't forget the baseball team's name.
The Tigers.
Oh, dag! I thought it was something else. How you be named after some like ferocious cats, but still ain't won nothing? Dang.
Listen, we're named after
ferocious cats and a gun.
Hey,
like,
my
what
God.
the heck? No,
we're named after a 600-pound bear. It's not working out.
It hibernates a lot. That's what happens. The Cubs can't hit anything either. So
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, Cub, bear cub, that's supposed to be weak. You know what I'm saying? A bull. I don't know what a sock does for you. Stockings, whatever. But
it makes you wonder where they get these names from, because the Bears and the Cubs kind of fit.
Well, that's
where the heck did the Bulls come from?
Because they used to be behind the Chicago Stadium was behind the slaughterhouse.
Leave it to you to know that.
Yeah, the dude that called into the show on Sunday or last Bulls post game. Yeah, that's my dad. He does that. when Muggs asked me, "Hey, why do you know all this information? Why are you so good at just talking sports?" Yeah, I had to argue with my dad all the time. And when you can pull up the 1956 Mets out of nowhere, I got no competition for that, dog.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Bears and Bulls were named for the Chicago Stock Exchange. I don't know about the stock exchange.
Yeah, bear market, bull market.
I don't think that's facts at all. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay, well, guess what? That's why we got Google.
I'm pretty sure the Bears were named because Hallis was a Cubs fan, and he was like, bigger Cubs, Bears. I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong on that. I may be wrong, but I doubt it. But no,
you're right. They renamed the Bulls in reference to the Chicago Union Stockyards, which was once a major business in Chicago. So Stockyards was where the slaughterhouse was.
Yep.
Still is.
Yeah, they didn't change it. They just moved the stadium.
Thank God.
listen. This is my favorite. Anytime you just say something with any enough confidence, we got it. No, I'm looking at this Bears team, and I don't see the reason. Like I get, like honestly, I do get that. Right? I get like you're trying to win games, and guess who gives you the best chance to win games? Allen Robinson does. I'm not gonna lie. Like if he's out there, he's a better threat than Marquise Brown or Riley Ridley, who seems to get no love anywhere. He's a better,
Who's better than Marquise Brown?
Who's better than Marquise Brown?
Did you say Ed Roberts better than Marquise Brown?
Yeah,
Marquise Brown got a game-winning touchdown. What?
Oh, my fault. Not Marquise Brown. What's my man's we got?
The heck is you talking about?
Not Marquise is Hollywood. Dog, I can't think of his name. Marquise something. Valdez Scantling? No, that ain't it. That's Packers. But yeah, like there's those guys that, like, I get that the backup isn't better. Goodwin, Marquise Goodwin. Thank you. I get that the backup isn't better. But do you believe you're going to win a championship or go far in the playoffs with this team? And if not, don't hold on to things that aren't going to be here. That's how I look at it. Like, a lot of people, now the Jimmy Butler trade is paying off for the Bulls, right? Like, it took 5 years. Jimmy Butler then went to the Eastern Conference Finals 2 times. He's gone to an NBA Finals 1 time. Like, it looks bad. But now I would say it's probably paying off to where Zach LaVine has become the better player. But you were going to lose Jimmy anyway. Jimmy was walking. He was leaving. And so while I would have loved to keep Jimmy Butler, I want him to be here. I think he's developing. I think he's turning into something great. At the end of the day, Jimmy don't want to be here. And if Jimmy don't want to be here, I'm going to trade something away to hold on to you.
I attribute a lot of everything that happened with this right here. New leadership. Nothing to do with if AK was here when they had Jimmy would still be in a Bulls uniform.
No, I agree with that. But you know what though? The leadership that was there is what ran them out. They got rid of the head coach. They brought in Fred Hoiberg, and Jimmy Butler got sick of dealing with what's his name? Got sick of dealing with Garpax. And he was gone. He was ready to get out of there. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those where, would I love Jimmy Butler to have been a Chicago Bull to this day? Yeah. Do I think Jimmy Butler was the number one on a championship team at that time? I don't think I did. But now we see that, he absolutely can be the number one on a team that at least leads you to the finals. But you look at it and it's just like, all right, well, he's leaving. Do I lose it for nothing, or do I get something out of it? Always try to get something out of it. And especially with a dude that dominates 5th, 4th round picks, dog, that's your wheelhouse. Stop giving them away. Go get some.
Yeah, I get it. I think the only thing about it is I think Pace is trying to hit big in free agency. That's all. I think that's what the play is. That's all. That's the only thing I could think of, to be honest with you. Because outside of that, I think he's done trying to. We don't have the timeline to build through another draft if we're trying to win now, which is
no. We have it. They don't have it.
Well, here's the thing. I know Pace is not going anywhere. You don't have to agree with me. Pace has hit on a lot of things, and for this to be his first GM job, rough starting, but guess what? He's hit on a lot of things that ultimately we've had to go back and look at, like, okay, that wasn't so bad, right? And so now, at this particular point, I think our defense has one more year left. You try to build an offense that will mirror to build with that. One more year. He's gonna get rid of JP. JP's gone. It's only a 1-year contract for him too.
I don't
JP's gone. He's gonna pay some people the same way he paid to get Mac. And like, you have to look at the profile of the person who makes these decisions. Yeah. He's not afraid to put himself in the fire and to go spend some money to get the right people to at least be like, yo, we have something. He's not afraid to do that. That's what I've always liked about Pace. He doesn't. Does he? He swings at every. He ain't never seen a pitch he didn't
He's
like.
Javi Baez. He's Javi
He
Baez.
never seen this pitch he don't like. But guess
He's
what?
Javi Baez.
The reason why we like those players is they're exciting. So from a business perspective, he's hit a lot more than he's lost. We just magnify those losses and we say, well, look at what we could have did, which I'm tired of saying. Right.
But it's because they're big. He missed on the players that do change your franchise.
In all actuality,
a 5th round pick more times than not don't change your franchise. It does sometimes. And listen, the one time that he did miss on it and it could have changed his franchise was Dak.
Did he really miss on Dak?
Dak went late. Dak went what, 5th, 6th round, something like that?
No, he didn't miss on Dak. He missed on Matt Nagy. Yeah, listen, we can't. You have to develop the talent.
That's the Bears organization. Those are the misses that keep happening. 3rd round, I put them a little lower. Those are the misses that keep happening. Those are the misses that when you consistently look at the Chicago Bears, what you see is, hey, we had Bruce Arians in the room. He wanted to come here. We let him go because he didn't want to do a meeting. That's not on Ryan Pace. That's on the Bears organization. Hey, we had the GM from the Colts who really the only thing he wanted to do was get rid of Jay Cutler. He thought it was time to rebuild the Bears team. Didn't want to.
This I know, but he should have fired Matt. That's what I'm saying.
Didn't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, I'll agree with that. He only had one coach. The first one was that was the organization. How Ernie Accorsi. That was his hire. You know what I'm saying? All right, dog. Like, relax, dog. But
I said he missed because he should have fired him.
He did technically hire Fox, but I don't really put that on him because I think that was hey, we know you're here, but hire this head coach because he's gonna turn this organization around. You know what I'm saying? Like, we saw a ton of that. So it's just. And yeah, at this point, if you've watched 3-4 years of Matt Nagy, why are you sticking with him? If you're Ryan Pace, you should have the least loyalty to Matt Nagy in the whole room. If you really believe, like y'all believe that Mitch Trubisky was the guy,
here's the thing:
you should absolutely not have loyalty to Matt Nagy right now because you ruined my quarterback.
I don't know why people think he is. You have nothing there that says that he is. The only thing you say is, well, look at this press conference, stuff like that. Guess what? That's what you're supposed to say in business. You're supposed to say some of the stuff. Like, I don't believe he is tied to Matt Nagy. I don't believe he is. I believe this is Matt Nagy's last year.
I think the vagueness of George when he was talking about them, I think George is the one that tied them together. He was when they asked him, like, hey, what's going on with the contract extension? What's going on with that? He was like, listen, Matt and Ryan are our football guys. We're riding with them. And if it doesn't work out, that's what it is.
I believe Ryan is going. I don't believe Ryan is tied to Matt Nagy, like in the sense of there's a level of camaraderie there. I don't believe it. And the way he moves kind of tells you that. The way he moves tells you that. Because if Matt had his way, not only would Justin still be on the bench, certain people probably wouldn't be on the field. Period.
That's interesting. I don't know if I don't know. I think
conversation to hold on to. It's a conversation to look into, but I know we have to do it for another live. Tell the people what when the next one is, my man.
That's interesting, dog. We really are different people, I swear. That's what makes the dynamic of the show great. We appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us, man. We are going to be live right after this, man, for Bulls versus who we playing tonight? The doggone Philadelphia 76ers. Is Embiid in for that? I don't even know, man. But get in tune with us for that, man. We appreciate y'all for rocking with us. We're gonna be live. That game starts in 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So we're pretty much gonna end this one. I'll be right back on the other side. Ringo's on his way to the stew now. We appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us, man. As always, it's your boy Pat the Designer, back at it again, joined by the pettiest man alive, Mr. P Kid. Hey, yo, Chicago. Y'all stay safe out there, man. Peace.